At short tracks and stadiums across America, Friday night this time of year is normally reserved for Friday night football. Friday night lights, when the sun comes down, usually the best comes out in drivers. When you cram 43 drivers into NASCAR's shortest racetrack, the worst comes out in them. Add in a little bit of elimination for the 16 men in the chase for the championship. Oh, you got yourself a pressure cooker tonight. Welcome to the elimination race in the NASCAR Thunder 2004 custom season. Tonight we will be at Bristol Motor Speedway for the running of the Sharpie 500. Just a few moments ago, Dylan Murway knocked Jeff Gordon off the pole with a pretty blistering lap, arguably. As we look through the rest of the field, Rusty Wallace starting all the way in provisional land tonight. Very unusual for him to have that happen. With him being probably one of the best drivers here. Look for him to be strong. You got Harvick back there as well in terms of qualifying. You see Jimmy Johnson trying to fill out some of his issues. So the lowest drivers to watch, obviously, Ward Burton needed a good run. Same with Jeff. So the lowest four looks like Rudd, Harvick, Wallace, and I believe Jeff Burton, as I saw there. So, at 125 laps, when the checkered flag waves tonight, 16 men become 12.
It's nighttime here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we're ready to go racing under the lights. It's the Sharpie 500 brought to you by EA Sports. This place has been referred to as the world's fastest half-mile oval. Add 43 cars to that, and you've got a recipe for some exciting racing.
I think the old phrase "rubbin's racing" explains exactly what we're going to see in this one. Tight, fast racing with a lot of bumping and banging for position. Just what these NASCAR fans love to see.
The 64 car has put together a great season so far.
He needs to just keep digging like he has been. Sometimes when a driver reaches the top 5 in points, they start to push themselves too hard on race day and wind up losing spots instead. I'm sure he doesn't want that.
The 02 car is having some trouble in the points this year.
Yeah, those guys have been working so hard this year. It's a shame it really doesn't show in the points. Just seems they can't keep that car out of trouble on race day. And maybe their luck will change today.
The starting lineup for the race. Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR Winter Cup points leader, will be starting from the number 2 spot. In the second row are the Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford and the Pfizer Ford. Starting the race from row 3 are the Singular Wireless Chevrolet and the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. The fourth row has the Valvoline Pontiac and the Home Depot Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet and the Dale Jr. Chevrolet. In row 6 we have the Lowe Chevrolet and the Caterpillar Dodge. Starting from row 7 will be the U.S. Army Pontiac and the Indian car. In the 8th row are the Citgo Ford and the Granger Ford. In the 9th row, we have the 12th car and the DeWalt Power Tools Ford. In the 10th row are the Sterling Marlin Dodge and the America Online Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 11 are the Target Dodge and the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge. The 12th row has the Motorcraft Ford and the M&M's Ford. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Bam Racing Dodge and the Kodak Maxfield Pontiac. In row 14 we have the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet and the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge. Starting from row 15 will be the Hooters Ford and the 57. In the 16th row are the Avalon Dodge and the Stacker 2 Dodge. In the 17th row are the 27 car and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. In the 18th row are the Cheerios Dodge and the Zero car. Starting the race from row 19 are the Team Rusty Dodge and the Tide Pontiac. The 20th row has the Kellogg Chevrolet and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 21 will be the Georgia Pacific Dodge and the O2 car. And finally, starting from the rear of the field will be the Civil Air Patrol Chevrolet.
$125 laps on tonight in the Sharpie 500. A lot is on the line if you're any of those 16 drivers that are trying to fight to get into the chase. Dylan Murway and Jeff Gordon, two of the probably the more consistent drivers in the field over this past month and a half, are on the front row. At the end of the night, who will be king in Thunder Valley? $15 laps is how long it takes to get around this 5-mile ring, and you can bull ring, or 0.5 mile, half a mile bull ring. I'm tired. Half a mile, 15 seconds is how long it usually takes to get around this half-mile bull ring. And you can already see the top lane is basically no man's land. Jeff Gordon always seems to get trapped there as he's trying to force his way in. Robbie's not going to let him in. Neither looks to be the 10 of Johnny Benson. Mark Martin even trying to maybe give Gordon a little bit of help, but it looks like Benson might let him in. Nope. Martin. Gordon's probably screaming on the radio, for the love of God, somebody let me in. Gordon finally gets let in, reaches another Chevy teammate in Bobby Labonte. Seven laps complete in the Sharpie 500. Dylan Murway is your leader. Can't quite get away from Kurt Busch. So Kurt Busch, Robbie Gordon, Johnny Benson, and Mark Martin are in the top 5. Kurt Busch obviously was 2 laps down last week at Michigan, or at Richmond. He does have success at Bristol. He hasn't won this season since the Daytona 500. Looking at another win to his credit, he's towards the bottom of the drivers that will advance. Keep in mind, so he'd like to have a win to just not worry about it as they head into the round of 12, which will consist of California, Charlotte, and Talladega. And once Dylan gets the sliding out of his car, he's starting to pull away from Kurt Busch, it seems like. Kurt is moving up. Dylan is rim riding the bottom of the racetrack. He's got a full second on him. And it looks like he's already seen the back of the field. Seeing the back of the field. Robbie Gordon is in third. Benson has fallen out of the top 5. Illinois is just adding on laps. Jeff Gordon has made his way into the top 5. $15 laps complete in the Sharpie 500 at Bristol. And Jeff Gordon is just caught in the back bumper of Robbie here for 4th, while Dylan Murway has ran away from Kurt Busch. Murway closing in on Ashton Lewis. And what looks like the 0 Jack Sprague, and those will be the first 2 that Dylan puts a lap down tonight, looks like. I think Dylan Murway keeps running these laps. He'll probably crack in he's getting close to cracking the 14-second bracket. Murway gets by Ashton Lewis, closing up on the 0-2 of Sadler. Of Hermie Sadler. It's in the side of the 0-2. Look at that. He basically he's rooting everybody out of the way. It's by Fittipaldi. As Dylan Murway is already pulled away from Kurt Busch by 3 seconds. Robbie Gordon got kicked way out of the top lane by Jeff Gordon. And Robbie Gordon was not happy about it. This is what he said on the radio a few moments ago. Yeah, tell 24 he's got one coming. I'm going to wreck him if he does wreck him now. I gave him plenty of room on the start. He just goes over and just runs me into the wall for no reason at all. So, yeah, write that down for me, Richard. Payback for 24. You know how we said in the previous show that this track usually brings out the worst in people? Jeff Gordon's got a lot of pressure. He was kicked to the top lane of the start, had a bit of a frustrating moment between him and Johnny Benson. Jeff Gordon and Johnny Benson. Benson wouldn't let Gordon in. Benson got kicked outside the top 5. Robbie Gordon had the same thing happen to him. Looks like he's having the same thing happen to him. As he is just flopped outside the top 20. Or top 5. And probably outside the top 10 as well here if this keeps up. Dylan Murway is just lapping cars left and right at this point. It's by Terry Labonte. And Mulway slides in front of Rusty, puts him a lap down. Rusty's there. And Rusty Wallace definitely didn't have the chase he expected. He had that lucky win at the Talladega to get him in, but since then he's, especially in this round, he's kind of fizzled out. Oh, already. Caution has come out. Huge moment for Dylan Murway. Dylan Murway has cracked a radiator, it looks like. First caution of the night.
There'll be a lot of bonus points awarded for all those drivers who led a lap.
How about that? They were battling for the top spot as soon as the green flag dropped. What a race.
The 64 car actually led the most laps.
Yeah, I really thought he had the win locked up. He definitely had the best car, but that doesn't always mean you'll win either.
We're out of time for tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.
Short end to the race for Dylan Murway as he ran into the back of Bill Elliott, cracked a radiator. Smacked the wall on the front stretch. So we'll see if there's how things shape out here. Christian Fittipaldi, of all people, won this race. Hermie Sadler, Jack Sprague, Ashton Lewis, Mike Skinner, Terry Labonte, Brett Bodine, Joe Nemechek, Jamie McMurray, and Bobby Labonte ran out the top 10. Bobby Labonte is the highest chaser. With that yellow, it basically flipped this entire race on its head. So drivers that obviously did not make it into the round of 12. It looks like might have been Jeff Burton, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd. Ricky Rudd had a fuel pump issue on the last lap at the checkers. And it looks to me, well, look at this here. Ward Burton does not make it. Kevin Harvick does. Obviously due to Harvick's second place run at the Mountain Dew Southern 500. So anyways, margin of victory for what turned into a very bizarre race. 4.5 seconds. Christian Fittipaldi won the first race for Petty Enterprises since 1999. The first race victory at Bristol since the 80s when a guy named by Richard Petty won. So yeah, time of race, 34 minutes. After that yellow, it was basically just blistering racing all the way around. So one caution flag for 5 laps, 17 lead changes among among 13 drivers. Average speed, 115 miles an hour. Margin of victory, as I said, 4.5 seconds. The drivers that are eliminated, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, and Ricky Rudd with a late problem. He was running second on the last lap. But unfortunately, 41st is when he ends up. So, anyways, the round of 12 will begin at the California Speedway for the running of the California 500. So here we go. We will take a look at awards here. So Dylan Murray won the pole, led the most laps. Hermie Sadler passed the most cars. Christian Fittipaldi, of all people, was the best rookie of the race. And Terry Labonte made the best pass in this race. So Dodge kind of closes in on Ford for second in the Manufacturer Championship. And the EA Sports Lap Champion Award is pretty much on lock to Dylan Murray. So again, the 12 drivers that advance will be revealed here very shortly. Here are the 12 drivers that will be fighting for a championship starting in the round 12. The following are Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Dylan Murray, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Burton. Here are the round of 12 races. As we get closer to deciding a champion. Round of 12 kicks off with a race under the lights at California, followed by another battle at NASCAR's home turf, the UAW GM Quality 500 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, or the Lowe's Motor Speedway, I'm sorry. And we will end the round of 12 with the wild card, Talladega Super Speedway, for the running of the EA Sports 500. And then we head to a bigger wild card to start the round of 8. Next Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, the California 500. Good night.